So a Fire Stick specifically is an Amazon Fire TV device. You plug it into your TV and then you're able to stream. People began what's called jailbreaking the Fire Stick. All that means is turning on a setting in the settings of the Fire Stick and allowing for unknown sources, allowing you to download things that are not available on the Amazon store. So they come to me and they say, hey, I want to see this. I want to see that. I want to see this. Okay, there's an app for that. Right. You know, there's an app for that. So just bring me your Fire Stick, or I have these that are ready to go. So 2 weeks from October 1st, 2020 was when the first undercover officers came to the flea market in full undercover, secret microphones, secret cameras, and the whole thing. I wasn't aware of it. It didn't come to light until late December 2020. So it was 3 months that they were investigating us. When the bust happened, the sheriff of Polk County, his name is Grady Judd.
Right.
He's also known as America's Sheriff. Very popular dude. When the whole bust went down, the sheriff of Polk County put out a story that he went on the news. It was a whole press conference, 15 minutes long. How this guy does his press conferences is he'll do a raid or they'll do a bust. His team will do a bust. And let's say they get 3 guys. They got 3 pictures ready to go.
Right.
So they get their press card. Hey, here's Luis Vasquez. This guy right here was selling Fire Sticks, and by the way, he was arrested 15 years ago for stealing candy from a store. You know, right. He just starts going in on you, right? So during that press conference, one of his reasoning as to how this whole thing happened is a concerned citizen went to the sheriff's office in October of 2020 and said, hey, sheriff, something's got to be wrong at the flea market. So they answer him, well, like what? Well, they're selling free TV boxes over there, and that just doesn't seem right. And that's all it took for the investigation to start. Going back to these conversations I had at the flea market, I remember a couple of two particularly very strange conversations. One of them, a guy comes up to my booth and he's, hey, you got those jailbroken Fire Sticks? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, they're jailbroken, but that's just a term. I would always tell people this. Like, it's just a term. Jailbroken is just something that's really misused because the Amazon Fire Stick is not locked. You can't jailbreak something.
Yeah, you're
that's
not hacking into it or breaking into it, or you're just reprogramming it, which anybody could do.
He's like, oh no, I just wanted to see if they were jailbroken. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay, that's weird. Right.
Before he leaves, he goes, but are they illegal? And then I go, what do you mean illegal? But jailbroken, illegal, that doesn't match. Those 2 different things. He goes, well, yeah, just asking. And he leaves. So he wasn't a customer. He was there just to talk or whatever. And then another conversation I had shortly after that was a lady that came by. And she kind of asked it was almost the same conversation. Hey, I like the term jailbroken and this. And they were really pushing that term, jailbroken. And, ooh, are they legal? Ooh, that sounds, interesting. So later on, it was my opinion was that I think those were possibly tactics to get me to say certain things, even though jailbroken is not illegal. It's just a word.
That was the whole investigation? No. People?
No, there was more.
The people had to buy, right? They had to buy stuff?
They had to buy. So the first buy in this whole buy and bust operation was in early October, 2 weeks after I began selling the Fire Sticks. So they come by, buy a Fire Stick, whatever, take off. In order to get probable cause for search and arrest warrant, they would have to take it somewhere to see if it's an actual illegal item. So in my discovery, which I have, I fought the case to a certain extent. It's 50 pages. My discovery is 50 pages. So in there, you see where they took the Fire Stick back the first time to a lab, and they check to see if it's illegal, and they see that, turn it on, Fox News. Yep, it's illegal. Like in my discovery, it says Fox News was on there. So you can access the world because that's on there. So maybe they checked other things, but that's just what they put in my paperwork. So they confirmed that, okay, yep, you can see a cable channel on here. And the investigation continued. And so I came into my booth on December 19th, 2020. Here come 6 or 7 dudes, full undercover. Hey, Luis Vasquez, we got a search warrant for your booth. Then saying that they have a search warrant. So the head guy asked me, he goes, hey, you need to talk to me. We sit down in his pickup truck. He opens the glove compartment. Boom. Hey, grab that. I grab it, stack of paper. He's like, read that. And it says Florida state statutes, robbery, theft, and related crimes. So I go, what's this? Is robbery. You're charging me with fire sticks? So what, robbery has nothing to do with this. And he goes, no, what you're doing does have to do with it, blah, blah, blah. And I go, it's not illegal. And I start the process of explaining jailbroken fire sticks are not illegal. This is not an illegal item.
Right.
This is a side-loaded item. The Amazon Fire Stick is made unlocked. You can't, you can't go any further than that. So he goes, oh, well, what you're doing was blah, 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 this, and, this is what you're getting charged with. So I asked him, what sort of charge is it? He's like, felony 3, 5 years in prison if you get convicted. So I end the conversation there. They come and take me to jail. But how
they cuff you the whole thing?
They cuffed me the whole thing and took me to Polk County Jail. Anyways, I ended up getting my wife post my bond, and the next morning I'm released. I'm released on a Sunday morning. I'm using my wife's cell phone in the backyard, looking for lawyers in Polk County. Hey, tech crime, who does internet crime? Blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for some answers. A text comes in to the phone, and it turns out it was one of my coworkers. And they're like, hey, they sent me a link after that text. They're like, you're on TV.
Right.
So
and that's the Grady Judd.
That's the first thing that happened, the first press conference.
Do you have it?
The Polk County Sheriff's Office launching an investigation into vendors here at the International Market World Flea Market after getting a tip people were selling illegal fire sticks. But if you're just here shopping on the weekend, how do you know what you're buying is legit? Well, the sheriff says if the higher price tag doesn't tip you off, the word jailbroken should.
Free movies, free TV, free sports, free anything.
Secret camera recordings.
True, it probably is. And in this case, it's also a crime. Detectives at the Polk County.
Oh my God!
That's
look at the old look.
Me and my old folks.
Broken fire sticks to undercover deputies at the International Market World Flea Market over the weekend. Lorinda Marlene Holm, Bong Woo Ro, Luis Gabriel Vasquez, and Grace Yarbrough used signs like this to lure people who may have thought they were paying too much for cable.
Even if you buy a legal fire stick and go online and figure out how to jailbreak it, the first time you download content, you're committing a crime.
This video taken by detectives shows their encounter with vendors trying to make a sale.
It's got all the premium channels, all the HBO, Showtime, ESPN, NFL ticket, anything you think of.
Detectives seizing as many as 36 jailbroken fire sticks in one day.
You sell a lot of these things?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're very popular.
But there's a reason it's illegal, and it affects all of us.
The businesses have got to make their profit margins. So they're going to charge enough to cover this shrinkage or this loss. So at the end of the day, we all pay for the few people that steal.
The four now facing
So get your torches and go to our houses, because we're the reason that Spectrum and Dish Network is charging $350 a
If you're
month
not selling jailbroken fire sticks, you could be charged with a misdemeanor
for using one. So whoever's got a fire stick at home, throw it.
So what? So they text you and said this is you. You're on.
You're on the news,
right?
Or you're on the press conference, and people around here know, right? In Florida, you're not too far from Polk County.
Yeah.
That the press conferences are a thing.
Right.
They happen. And if you're on it, however, the next day's press conference, at the end of the press conference, they have a question and answer thing every time. Question and answers start. The first media person stands up. It's a lady from a local news station. And she goes, hey, we've been getting calls all day to our station and emails saying that jailbroken fire sticks are not illegal. And then the sheriff responds.
Right.
And he's like, well, of course they're illegal. Here's a clue. Jailbroken. Get it? That's how he breaks it down.
Right.
That's Polk County vernacular.
Right.
It's jail, broken, arrest, jail.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's how it goes.
So that's part of the reason they were pushing the whole jailbroken from the very beginning.
Pushed jailbroken more than any hackers ever pushed jailbroken since jailbroken began.
Did you get a lawyer? I was going to say, okay.
Yeah, I ended up getting a lawyer. Found a lawyer that deals with somewhat tech stuff. And with that whole thing, you can't go on a press conference and say, well, this guy's background was this, and he got in trouble for that, because now you're tainting the jury pool.
Right.
Even if you somebody, right, and anywhere, let's say Polk County, somebody gets or something, they don't usually get press conferences. It's just one guy, another guy. So you're going to court as a accused killer. You're going to fight your case as a private person. You can't do that once you get on the press conference. So I feel it's a violation of the Sixth Amendment, which is the right to a fair trial and the right to an impartial jury. Once you put that information out there, that's over. Also, I feel that our Fourth Amendment rights were violated because they got search and seizure warrants over the word of a concerned citizen that came to the police and said, yeah, they're doing something illegal. I don't know. You go check it out. So they get search and seizure warrants. I think it was based on false information.
Who was the concerned citizen?
So the concerned citizen was never discovered.
It doesn't seem right either, because I'm based on the Constitution, I'm allowed to confront my accusers.
Right.
So
You're
who is
exactly
it?
right. I did talk to them about that. They gave me the discovery 30 days later, whenever it was. I'm looking through it. I don't see any concerned citizens. I'm looking for the concerned citizen. Like, who? Okay, did somebody?
How'd this start? Yeah.
How'd this start? Somebody go and say that they charged too much for a Fire Stick, or what was it? Because when I was reselling the Fire Sticks, I had great people. Like, most of them were older. There were some young people there. There's a mix of everybody, and they love me there. Like, they would bring me cake. They'd bring me just stuff, because I helped them cut their bill of hundreds of dollars. And these people they have medicine. They have bills to pay. The only thing that I found was that there was a person that went to law enforcement and said, this is, instead of what was said on TV that was, oh, they're doing something wrong, and said, go check it out. It's a little more detailed than that. This person went to the sheriff's office or whatever and said, hey, vendors at this International Market World are selling access to TV without written express authorization of the cable communications provider, blah, blah. I mean, perfect to the law. Just look what the law says.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
We need to talk to that guy.
I think he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
The guy knows the law.
Or maybe just somebody that doesn't exist at all.
That's right. That's very, very likely. They did mention his name, and it turns out he actually worked for a cable company.
Oh, okay. So somebody...
So I don't know if they don't say that he's the concerned citizen, but they say that citizen said this, and in my discovery says this guy said, it kind of ties together. It wasn't just, hey, these guys are selling free TV. It's the cable company is writing statements, going on record, making recorded statements. Yeah, sure enough, that's what got them the arrest and search warrants. The fact that somebody from the cable company came down and said, yep, hey, what they're doing is illegal. This is, et cetera. And with that, they took us to jail from there.
So they didn't look up the specific laws or anything? They didn't?
Right. The judge, I guess, didn't, because you have to go to a judge, right? Like, to get a search warrant and then an arrest warrant, you have to have probable cause. And nobody looked at it. Nobody looked at it. They just took this guy's word.
Well, then they sent down people to buy from you.
Correct.
To prove that you were selling them, which I was.
Correct.
But what I'm selling isn't illegal.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So that's what I think, that's who the concerned citizen may have been.
There's nothing on the books that says this is illegal, but there's nothing on the books that say it's necessarily legal.
Correct.
You can find similar devices that it has already been determined that it's legal to whatever, alter or allow them to have things downloaded. For Androids, it's open. For Apple, it's still open, although you do have to actually alter the programming to allow for downloads.
Right.
And for certain things that are completely locked off, like certain games, because you can make money on games, you can gain things, like you can do things like that. In certain games, you're not allowed to alter anything within the game or allow downloads or change it in any way.
Right.
And all of those have been determined, but there's no real determination at this point for Fire Sticks. But they keep using the term jailbreak.
Right.
And as a result of that, they're saying, well, if we call it something that sounds nefarious, then we can make it appear that it's illegal. And that's essentially where you were at. And you said, I want to go to trial on this. And your lawyer, of course, is saying, you gave me $3,000.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to trial for $3,000. So she's wanting some money. And even then, it doesn't sound like her heart's in it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably had a better attorney for you.
Yeah, for sure I would.
But yeah, where his heart's into everything. probably got to go under eventually. The ones that are really passionate and will fight for you, they claim bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Because passion doesn't pay. But yeah, so you're trying to put it together. You're trying to go to her and explain the whole thing. She's trying to get you to take a misdemeanor.
Right.
She's trying to get you to go away. I need you to go away
Correct.
at this point. So I'm sure she's a wonderful person.
Me too.
But
nothing against her.
Yeah, but she's not passionate about the law, or this case at least. So what? So you can't figure it. You're having a hard time just finding. There's nothing rock solid out there.
There's nothing rock solid out there. There is the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which helps people pro bono or that kind of thing. But,
and what are they saying? Are they saying that this is perfectly legal?
Yes,
but they don't actually have case law to prove it, right? So they don't have a case that went through that where a judge said this is legal, right? So they don't have that. They're saying it's legal, but they don't have case law. So you did take the deal.
So so she gives me this breakdown of this deal. Pay us, it'll go away. So at that point, I have a decision to make. Either I fine $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever it is going to be to start trial from somewhere, which it was impossible. We didn't have those options, or I push it. I take this deal.
Right.
There's no other option. You got the money ready, or you're going to take this deal. Right. So I said, okay, I agreed. Let's go ahead and do that. I found some money to pay them. And then they had some community service hours that you can buy it out also. Bought that out for another $200 or whatever it was. And it just gets dismissed. Goes away. And then they hope nobody else talks about it. Right. Because they knew they were wrong. This is why they offered me this deal. To me, it's almost like they wanted this thing to go away. Because one of the press conferences, the second one where somebody says, hey, the news says these aren't illegal. We're getting calls and emails. That got taken down by the media team.
That's the one they took down.
Yeah, but they don't take down the original one. It's just weird. That one you can't find on YouTube anywhere now. So
and it was convenient.